Willson and Suh continue to take visits, while the Seahawks have hosted a number of veteran running backs. But it's hard to tell if the Seahawks are really in the hunt for Suh. Catching up on a few news items following another busy day of free agency. Player position. Contract Barkevious Mingo. Pound. $6.8 million per 2 years Bradley McDougald. DB. $13.5 million per 3 years Ed Dixon. $14 million per 3 years Jaron Brown. WR. Unknown Morris Alexander. DB. Unknown player. Position. Contract. Team Paul Richardson. WR. $40 million per 5 years. WSH Jimmy Graham. $30 million per 3 years. GB Deshaun Sheed. CB. $3.5 million per 1 year. Det Richard Sherman. CB. $39 million per 3 years. SF Sheldon Richardson. DT. $11 million per 1 year. Min Willson still waiting. Luke Willson visited Detroit Saturday but departed without a deal being struck with the Lions and could make more visits. Willson has already visited Carolina and Jacksonville. A member of the Seahawks the last 5 years, it's unclear if returning to Seattle is an option. He also hit the market last year before returning on a 1-year deal worth $1.8 million. Seattle has already signed Ed Dixon, to add to the tight end core, and has Nick Vannett and Tyrone Swoops on the roster, as well. But that doesn't preclude a possible return for Willson, as Seattle will surely add a few more tight ends before training camp. Detroit had a particular appeal to Willson since it is close to his hometown of LaSalle, Ontario. Suh still visiting. It's hard to tell if the Seahawks are really in the hunt for free agent defensive tackle Ndamukong Suh. Suh visited New Orleans on Saturday and is now headed to Tennessee to talk to the Titans. Suh tweeted a brief message referencing the 2 trips and saying that he has lots to think about. Seattle has been mentioned as interested with Suh, with one report that coach Pete Carroll talked to Suh on the phone. Suh was also in town earlier in the week but did not apparently make a visit, in part because at the time he was still a member of the Miami Dolphins, who then released him a few days later. For now it appears Suh's focus is on the Saints and Titans, and if he remains available after these trips then maybe Seattle becomes a more realistic option. Seahawks tailback situation still in flux. Veteran running back DeMarco Murray has a visit set up with the Miami Dolphins Sunday, according to a report from Joe Schad of the Palm Beach Post. Murray visited Seattle last week as the Seahawks appear to again be looking for a veteran to add to their running back core. Seattle also had Jonathan Stewart in for a visit, but he signed with the Giants. The visits underscore that Seattle's tailback situation is in a little bit of flux. Chris Carson, C.J. Prozis and J.D. McKissic are under contract for next. But that's it for now, as the Seahawks did not tender restricted free agents Mike Davis and Thomas Rawls, who each have been making trips to other teams this week. The draft class is regarded as particularly deep and strong this year, and Seattle could well use at least one of its 8 picks on a tailback. But it appears also as if Seattle would like to add a veteran before then, as well.